Hi, I'm Kenny from Mini Bowl Design, and today I'm out in the factory, and I want to show you, first off, how to light a Biocide stove, because I'll get to that in a minute. Had a customer that had a problem, so let's go through this. Okay, this is an old junky Biocide, it's all beat up that I found on the shelf. I think it works. It should have 12 jets on the outside, little tiny jets, and it should have 3 jets on the inside at the bottom and a couple at the top. Okay. Now the problem this person was having, he'd light the stove and it'd go out. Wouldn't burn it like time. He's using denatured alcohol, and I suspect his problem was that he wasn't putting enough alcohol on the wick. You gotta put some alcohol on this wick. You can't just put on a few drops. You gotta wet it down. Okay, now I'm going to put, I don't know, about an ounce of alcohol in this and light it. Turn the lights out. There you go. Now you see when that's primed correctly, that's a fair amount of heat coming off that wick. And that is what primes the stove and gets it going, as you can see. And then the wick will go out. Wick is still going a little bit. There, she's out now. And there you have it. And that won't go out. That'll burn until you run out of alcohol. If you put in an ounce, it'll probably burn about, I don't know, 8-10 minutes. And that's all there is to it. It's just that simple. Now, if you don't put enough alcohol on the wick, it might half start, but it's not hot enough to get the reaction going in. It'll just go a little while and go out. And I suspect that's what he did. Second option is, could be that he's got really junky fuel. He said he's using denatured alcohol, but that's a crapshoot because a lot of people make denatured alcohol, and some of it's really good, like SLX, and some of it's really bad. I've run into both. So when somebody says denatured alcohol, I immediately suspect that it might be the alcohol. Maybe not, but it could be. But anyway, that's what it's, I'm using heat with that, and it works great. Maybe you didn't prime it enough. Okay, now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of customer relations. Sends me an email, tell me that stove won't stay lit. Okay, so you email me, tell me you've got a stove that won't stay lit. The first email back is going to ask you to make sure I didn't screw up. Make sure it has 12 jets on the outside, small hole jets on the outside, and 3 larger jets on the inside at the bottom of the stove. If it's got those, then it's going to light. Second question I'm going to ask you is, did you really prime the wick, or did you just put a little bit of alcohol on it? If you take and go back and hold the stove up sideways and put enough alcohol in it so that the alcohol is dripping off the bottom of the wick, set it on the table and put a full ounce of alcohol in it and light the wick, not the stove, but the wick, it'll go. If you've got jets, you've got alcohol, you've got enough alcohol on your wick, it'll go. Unless the alcohol is complete garbage. If the alcohol is burning yellow, then the alcohol is worthless and that's your problem. Now, to play devil's advocate, there's a third possibility here, which I've run into more than a few times. The person got the stove, knew what they were doing, primed it, lit it, it worked just fine. And then they wrote me back and told me it wouldn't stay lit, it was a piece of junk, because they thought I was going to send them another stove, and they get a second $20 stove for free. What the hell, it's worth a try. You don't have any pride, you don't have any morals, you're just looking to score another stove. That's what you can do. I won't send it to you, but, you know, unless I used to, but I don't anymore. Nowadays, if you've got a problem with the stove, you send it back to me. And if I did it in-house and there's something wrong with it, I'll send you another stove. But I'm not going to blindly send you a second stove because the few people that are dishonest have ruined it for everybody. That's basically that. That's how you light a BIOS 5. Now, I'm going to have to email back and forth to this person 4 or 5 more times. I'm going to have to find out what they're using for alcohol. I'm going to have to find out how much alcohol they're using when they prime it. I'm going to have to find out how much alcohol they're putting in the actual stove. I'm going to have to find out whether they're doing it outside in the wind, because you can't start this stove in the wind. You prime the wick in a good wind, and the wind will just carry the heat off and it won't light. Got to find out whether they're starting it up and before it even blossoms, putting a coal pot on it. You know, it's going to take 5 or 6 emails if the person hangs in there to find out what the problem is. More than likely, they're just not priming it enough, or they've got bad alcohol. But that's the way that works. I'm Kenny from Mini Bowl Design. Try to have a really great day, and try to have some fun today. You deserve it. Bye-bye.